This week on Code 4 TV, California is sending prisoners back, the Amber Alert goes Facebook, and Pasties are getting you pat-downs. Welcome to episode 111 of Code 4 TV. I'm Joe Puckett. It's a great day in our world and a busy week in public safety, so let's get it started. Governor Jerry Brown is pushing a plan to return thousands of low-risk convicts and all youth offenders housed in state facilities back to county jail and detention facilities. His proposal, which is being considered by the legislature, would save nearly $1.4 billion annually if accepted. The downside is county lockup facilities being able to handle the flood of over 37,000 convicts yearly. But with state money being sent to cover hiring and housing more, it would still save California taxpayers around half of the money spent annually for state-level hard time for this classification of convicts. Reports are surfacing on the internet about iPads being used for more and more functions within public safety and law enforcement work. There are apps already available to sketch crime scenes, record statements, and they help reduce paper costs since the information that is gathered can be shared with coworkers and records personnel. Jefferson County Police Department in Tennessee recently used a grant from the Department of Homeland Security to purchase the devices for each officer and detective within the agency. Many agencies are looking at the device, which is typically $200 to $400 cheaper than the rugged laptops which have been used in the past several years. January 13th marked the 15th anniversary of the abduction and murder of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, for whom the Amber Alert system was named. The day prior, Facebook announced its creation of 53 Amber Alert pages to help users receive notifications of child abductions in their news feeds for their state. They also added Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands to the pages. The Amber Alerts on Facebook will only be posted to the appropriate state pages for their residents' alerts, or could be posted to another state if it is believed the child may have been taken to another region or state besides the state of abduction. There's a lot of debate and behind-the-scenes ideas being tossed around after this month's deadly shooting in Tucson, Arizona. Emotions are high and many in government have fear for their safety. Legislative members have been drafting bills regarding tougher restrictions, including strict background checks, no gun zones, and no large volume magazines for ammo. The energized advocates and members of Congress seem to be having difficulty, however, producing meaningful dialogue and legislation towards a solution. Representative Peter King of New York is reporting that he attempted to take action and proposed a bill that would ban possessing a firearm within 1,000 feet of a congressional member, and his office immediately went into crisis mode when they began receiving 100 calls per hour from people who think he is trying to take away their Second Amendment rights. 7 New York firefighters were injured yesterday in a reported 7-alarm fire in a Queens Ironworks warehouse. More than 200 firefighters responded to the blaze, which burned for over 10 hours. 3 of the firefighters suffered burns and were admitted to the local burn center, 1 with facial burns. The 4 others suffered minor injuries. There is a new drug slowly catching on around the world. It is commonly known on the street as the Ivory wave. The drug produces a high similar to amphetamines, but the difference is the intensity. Extreme paranoia and delusions, as well as extreme blood pressure and suicidal thoughts, accompany the usage. It is still sold legally in most communities as bath salts or plant food. Many communities are working on legislation already to make several of the chemical components illegal. Well, hopefully you have not bought into the concept of buying the special underwear and undergarments with printed pasties to protect your private parts when going through the airport scanners. The dealers in these items are reporting that they are overwhelmed with orders. Consumers are reporting mixed reviews on whether they even work or not. However, the most important word comes from the TSA. On their blog, TSA blogger Bob reminds you that for security purposes, if you go through a body scanner and there is an area of your body they can't see, they will have to do a pat down. So those pre-printed t-shirts and undies may make matters worse. And finally, Taser unveiled a new version of its electronic weapon designed to control animals that pose a threat. The new device, called the Taser Wildlife ECD, is an extension of Taser's technology that saves animals' lives, says Rick Smith, Taser CEO. The device is designed to be used on larger animals with thick hides, so it is slightly higher in its output charge than the X3, which was designed to be used on humans. The new device has a 35-foot range, and the cost of the device will be about $2,000 when it goes on sale in March 2011. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Code 4 TV. If you have a topic you would like for us to discuss, send a note to joe@code4.org. You can also check us out at code4.org. You can also socialize with us on Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace. Thanks for joining us and have a great and safe day.